What's going on, guys? Welcome back to another video. Today's the day. Today's the day. Brittany Griner released from Russian prison after, I think she's been there since February of this year. Finally got released today. They did a prisoner swap for a pretty evil man. Let's read to see what's going on. WNBA star Brittany Griner is free after a months-long imprisonment in Russia for drug charges. Moments ago, I spoke with Brittany Griner. President Obama tweeted Thursday morning, she is safe. She's on a plane. She's on her way home. I think I can speak for a lot of people in the country. We're definitely happy to hear that. Although, again, we should definitely, abide by other countries' laws and be careful when we go to places like Russia, you know, definitely, or just avoid them and altogether. Then again, it was her job, so it's kind of hard to avoid your job. Many others took to social media to express their feelings over the development. Grateful for the long overdue release of Brittany Griner today from the Russian custody, former President Barack Obama tweeted, "Kudos to and his administration for the difficult diplomatic work involved in making this happen." So, I'm not sure how many of you guys know who this was actually a prisoner swap. The Russians didn't just turn over a new leaf and decided that they're gonna free our girl Brittany. So this was definitely a prisoner swap. And this is leading a lot of people to ask some questions. And honestly, I believe it's a valid question. We swapped um we swapped Brittany Griner for a basically a war criminal, you know? Um and at first I was a little bit upset because as it says right here, the US is releasing notorious Russian arms dealer Victor Bout in a one-for-one prison exchange that does not include former US Marine Paul Whelan, who remains imprisoned in Russia on espionage charges. So this Marine has been in Russian custody for 4 years. Brittany Griner hasn't been there for even a year, and they got her out. At first, I was a bit upset about this because, this is one of those situations where the world talks a lot of garbage about men and how it's the patriarchy and how men should be doing this and men should be doing that. And then we see a situation like this where there's a man who's been in prison for 4 years. His family is over here waiting on him to come home, hoping for him to come home, and it didn't happen. So, when I first heard the news, that was the first thing that popped into my mind, a one-for-one prisoner swap for someone whose nickname, and that's the guy with his name, Victor Boot, his nickname is the Merchant of Death. Sounds like he's an anime character. But they swapped him for Brittany Griner. A lot of people didn't understand that. To take somebody who, for all intents and purposes, is innocent, innocent in comparison at least, for a demonic human being such as him, a lot of people don't understand it, and I can't blame them. But the big thing that a lot of people are pretty upset about or wondering, why was the Marine left there? Um, we've got we have, and of course, Biden has to address it. We've not forgotten about Paul Whelan, Biden said from the White House. We will keep negotiating in good faith for Paul's release. And again, I took that as, well, this was better for us. But after hearing further pieces of this conversation, it turns out that the Russians are actually treating the Marine Paul Whelan a lot different than Brittany Griner. They're not trying to do a, hey, 2-for-1, because the guy that we're asking for is worth, like, an entire city worth of free people. The Russians, from what they're saying, kind of refuse to deal with Paul Whelan. And if that's the case, that I can understand. You know, if it was put on the table to say bring our guy home, and they said no, you're only getting one, or it's no, you're not getting him for him. You could get the lady, but you're not getting him. Fine, you sit there and you say something's better than nothing. We're bringing home one of our own. It is what it is. We'll work on seeing what we can get accomplished for Paul Whelan. And I'm not the only person. Like I said, there's lots of people praising it. Vice President Kamala Harris. Today, Brittany Griner's wrongful detention in Russia finally ended, and she's on her way home to be reunited with her family. Her release is the product of painstaking negotiations with the President of the United States, committed commitment to bring her home every U.S. citizen wrongfully detained anywhere in the world. Right? Brittany Griner is free, Billie Jean King said. But you come down here, you know, it's not just all happy news. Like this one right here. Brittany Griner being released in exchange for a convicted arms dealer. What about retired U.S. Marine Paul Whelan? Like I said, a lot of people are asking that same exact question. Rejoice that Brittany Griner is free, but please don't forget about Paul Whelan. He's been in jail for over 4 years. Like I said, sometimes you got to take the good with the bad, guys. This is breaking news, just happened this morning. At least the news just happened this morning. I did hear something that was pretty interesting, though. Apparently, President Biden gave thanks to the EAU, I believe, Saudi Arabia, and he gave them thanks because they, on the flight out of Russia, Brittany Griner was sent there as a layover before they could get her flown out back to the United States. My question is, and a lot of other people are asking, of all the countries to send her, why did you send her there to the Middle East? Where her particular sexual orientation it's illegal there as well. It's like one of those situations. Are you trying to take her out of the fire to put her in the frying pan, or take her out of the frying pan and put her in the fire? Hopefully everything works out okay with that situation. Today's a day for good news. Lots of questions, but overall, today's a good day. Brittany Griner's coming home, guys. All right, guys, that's been the update on that. I appreciate you guys kicking with me for this quick breaking news update. I'll see you in the next one, all right? Peace.